Hi, my name's Daryl. So I'm currently in the market for a used Wrangler. So I've been doing lots of research, and one of the things I'm considering is getting a relatively new one, the JL. Now the JL was produced from 2018 until the current model. And so if you are in the market for a newer used Wrangler, then I hope the information that I'm going to provide today will give you some help. Now there were a number of updates that Jeep made to the JL Wrangler from the JK, and I provided kind of the updates in a previous video that I'll link here. But today what we're going to talk about is some of the trims, or what they would, I guess, call models, as well as kind of the most important options that I think you should consider when purchasing a used Wrangler. Now, you've probably already thought about this, but before we talk about the different models or trims and the options, the first decision that you really need to make for your Wrangler, is how many doors that you want, as well as the top option that you want. So with the Wrangler, on the doors, you really have the 4-door model, which is this one right here. It's called the Unlimited. And then you also have the 2-door model. And really, I think it comes down to space. And maybe budget, because the 2-door is usually about $4,000 cheaper than the 4-door model. But if you've got a family, or if you've got dogs and a lot of cargo that you want to bring with you, you're probably going to be better off with the 4-door. The 2-door is going to be a little bit cheaper. It's going to be a little lighter. It might be a little better off-road because of the smaller wheelbase, and it can maneuver maybe a little bit better. But I think most of the Wranglers out there, I think somewhere around 85% of them that end up being sold are the 4-doors. And so, yeah, you're probably going to end up with the 4-door. So now let's talk about the top options. And so with the Wrangler, really whichever option that you get for the top, it can be a convertible. Some tops are a little bit more harder to turn into a convertible than others. But what I have here, it's what they call the hardtop option. Now, this right here is called the Freedom Panels, and you can actually remove the Freedom panels relatively easily. You have to store them someplace, so you take the panels off and you have to put them in the back or put them somewhere. But that gives you relatively, kind of easy access to that convertible lifestyle if you do have a hardtop. If you want to take off the back of the hardtop, this is all one piece right here. And so, yeah, you either need 2 persons or some sort of a lift and someplace to store that hardtop. If you plan on using your Wrangler as a convertible a lot of the time, you probably want to consider the soft top. With the soft top, you can basically just take the top and kind of fling it back and have that open air experience really easily. You can also take that soft top and move it all the way back if you want to. Now, one new feature on the Wrangler is this thing called the one-touch sky top, which is really great. So basically it's kind of a soft top right here, but basically you just hit one button and it just kind of rolls back and then hit the button again and it rolls forward. And so that kind of gives you the best of the both worlds. It's more secure, like a hardtop, which is one of the benefits of the hardtop. It's more secure than the soft top. So you get the kind of security of the hardtop, but you get the ease of that convertible lifestyle with just one touch. But that option is about $4,000. So yeah, if you want to choose that, or if you want to choose a used Wrangler that has that, you're probably going to spend a little bit more. Now, for me, I'm actually going to get a hardtop. I just think it looks better. The lines are a lot cleaner than the convertible. Also, the Freedom panels will come off relatively easily. It's more secure than the soft top. And honestly, I'm going to take the hardtop off most of the time. I live in Las Vegas, and so we have great weather. And probably 75%, 80% of the time, I'm just going to have the top off and just drive around like that. So yeah, just going to have some fun. Now we're going to focus on kind of the trims or models and the options that you can get with the different trims. I'm not going to talk about engine options. Basically, I'm going to do that in a separate video where I'm going to test drive each of the different engine options, and so that's going to be really cool. But what we're going to focus on really is 3 models. We're going to focus on the Sport S, we're going to focus on the Sahara, and we're going to focus on the Rubicon model. Now, one model that I'm not covering that you might question is I'm not going to cover the Sport model. And the reason for that is the Sport is basically the basic model of the Wrangler. And with the Sport model, You don't get power windows, you don't get power door locks, you don't get power mirrors, and you really don't have very many options that you can even add to that model. And so, yeah, it's the basic. Now, if you're looking for the absolute cheapest Wrangler, that would be an option, but I wouldn't really recommend that. I would recommend that you start off with the Sport S as the cheapest model and then go from there. So we're going to look at 3 models. And the first thing that you really need to ask yourself in regards to the model or trim that you want to choose is how you're going to use the Wrangler. So if this is primarily going to be your daily driver, and maybe you do a little bit of off-roading, maybe hit some trails and stuff like that on the weekend, but you're not a serious hardcore off-roader, then I would choose the Sport S model or the Sahara model. If, however, you are buying your Wrangler primarily as an off-road vehicle, you see yourself hitting the trails all the time, you maybe want to add a bunch of stuff to your Wrangler for rock crawling, then you're going to be a totally different buyer, and you're definitely going to want to get the Rubicon model. So that's the first decision point that you need to make, is if you're going to be a serious off-roader or not. So let's assume that we're going to use it as a daily driver, and we're not doing any serious trails yet. Maybe this is our first Wrangler. Maybe you get into it later, and maybe we get a Rubicon later on. But now we want to choose between the Sport S and the Sahara. So let's talk about some of the differences between the Sport S and the Sahara. So basically your Sport S and Sahara, they're both kind of more of the daily driver, kind of on-road focused Wranglers. The Sport S I would consider more of your basic model. The Sahara model would be a little more of your aesthetically pleasing, more of your luxurious model. And so I'm looking at a Sahara here, and you're going to notice some things on the Sahara that you're not going to notice with the Sport S. So first of all, with the Sahara, you're going to get these painted fender flares. And so on the Sport S model, you basically get kind of plastic black fender flares as opposed to the painted fender flares. And so that's the one big difference. Now you can't actually option in on a Sport S these painted fender flares. The only way you can get these is either with the Sahara or the Rubicon model. Also with the Sahara model, you'll get larger wheels. So these are 18-inch wheels as opposed to the Sport S, you get 17-inch wheels. And I think on both the Sport S or the Sahara, you can actually get either kind of all-weather tires or all-terrain tires. But that's the other difference, is the wheel size is larger on the Sahara. Now, this model of Sahara, they didn't option in the painted roof, but with the Sahara model and also the Rubicon model, you can actually add in the option of a painted roof. I actually kind of like the black roof as opposed to the painted roof, but over time, the plastic roof will start to fade and will start to look kind of more grayish as opposed to keeping that nice color. But once again, that's an option with the Sahara, but it is an option with the Sport S. And so if a painted fender flare and if the painted roof is important to you, then you're definitely going to want to get the Rubicon model. Now also with the Sahara model, you get these nice kind of elements around the lights, the silver kind of trim pieces. You get the elements around the grille here, as well as these pieces right here. So it makes it look kind of aesthetically pleasing and luxurious, whereas you don't get that with the Sport S model. Also with the Sahara, you get some interior improvements and some options that isn't available on the Sport S. So you do get dual zone climate control on the Sahara model, and that isn't an option on the Sport S. You also get the option of leather seating, which comes with a leather steering wheel and also a leather dash, which once again isn't an option on the Sport S model. So one real important safety feature is the LED lighting group. Now, this option was actually only available on the Sahara and the Rubicon in 2018 and 2019. In 2020, that was also optionally available on the Sport S model. And so if you are looking at a later model of the Sport S, just make sure that's included, and also make sure it's included on the Sahara or Rubicon, because I think that's pretty important. So another important feature, which is more of a safety feature, is this option called Select Track. Now this was only available initially on the Sahara models in 2018 and 2019, and then became available to the Sport S model in 2020. And basically what Select Track is it's kind of all-wheel drive for the Wrangler. And so basically you just choose 4-high auto, which basically puts it in two-wheel drive on the rear tires or on the rear wheels. And then when it detects slip, it automatically goes into 4-wheel drive. And so yeah, if you especially live in an area that gets a lot of snow and there's a lot of ice on the roads, I think this is a really important feature that you should look for. So one of the other things that the Sahara has that the Sport S doesn't have is the Sahara, it comes actually with upgraded brakes. And that allows you to upgrade the tires, to make the tires a little larger if you want, without actually having to upgrade the brakes. And so the Sport S doesn't get that. All right, so now let's address the folks that answered the question by saying that they wanted to use their Wrangler as an off-road vehicle. And we're going to talk about the Rubicon, which is the more off-road focused Wrangler. And basically, the options that were available on the Sahara are also, for the most part, available on the Rubicon. And so with the Sport S, there were certain options that you couldn't get, but with the Rubicon, you can get, you know, the painted fender flares, you can get the painted roof, you could pretty much get everything that you got on the Sahara. It's going to cost you a little bit more, but it can look like the Sahara. Now we're looking at a Sahara model here, but the Rubicon does come with, instead of 18-inch wheels, 17-inch wheels, and it comes stock with a 33-inch tire, all-terrain tire. Now you can actually upgrade without any modifications to a 35-inch tire, basically because it has larger fender flares or more space between the tire and the fender flare, and so you can upgrade those. And the Rubicon also comes with upgraded brakes, and so you don't have to do anything with the brakes to upgrade to that 35-inch tire. So some of the features that make the Rubicon, which is an off-road legend, is the electronically activated sway bar disconnect, the Dana 44, both front and rear axles with the locking rockers, and the 4.1 gear ratio as opposed to the 3.42 gears that come on the Sport S and the Sahara models. Now, to make sure everybody knows that you're driving a Rubicon, of course you get the Rubicon decal and stickers on the hood, you get red tow hooks, and you also get that famous Rubicon hood. The Rubicon red accents carry into the interior as well. You get red stitching on the seats and the steering wheel, as well as the Rubicon badging, and you also get the dash, which is fully red regardless of the exterior color. So now that we've talked about the models or trims and what differentiates them, let's talk about some of the optional packages that, if you're looking for a used Jeep, what you should actually be looking for, or what I think you should be looking for. First and foremost, you know, one of the benefits of the JL is some of the new technology and some of the new safety features. And so I would look for the safety group, the basic safety group, as at least the bare minimum, which includes the blind spot detection in the mirrors, the cross traffic alerting, as well as park sense. And they do actually have an advanced safety group, which comes with things like adaptive cruise control, which if you take a lot of trips on the highway, I think that, you know, that certainly makes driving on the freeway a little bit easier. But as a minimum, I would look at that basic safety group. Now, I already talked about this before, but having LED lights on the Wrangler, I think, is really important. Now, I had mentioned that in 2018 and 2019, the LED lighting group was only available on the Sahara and Rubicon models, and then in 2020 it was made available on the Sport S models. But I would look for that LED lighting group to be on a used Wrangler that you would consider purchasing. If you haven't driven in a Wrangler before with the halogen lights, they're not really very good. So if you intend on doing some night driving in your Wrangler, I really would recommend that you find a used Wrangler that has that LED lighting group. Also safety related is the Select Track feature that I talked about before. Now initially this was only available on the Sahara models in 2018 and 2019, but then made available in 2020 on the Sport S models. And so, you know, this is basically all-wheel drive for the Wrangler, and it put you in two-wheel drive until it detects slip and then goes into four-wheel drive. Now, if that isn't available on the Wrangler that you're looking for, at least look for something that has the anti-slip rear differential, which will kind of help that slipping condition out as well. But if you can get the Select Track, I would recommend that you find a Wrangler with that. If you live in an area that is extremely cold and gets a lot of snow, you might want to try to find a Wrangler that has the cold weather group, which includes the heated seats, the heated steering wheel, as well as remote start. And so that'll help you out on those really cold mornings. Now, if you plan on towing with your Wrangler, make sure it's outfitted with the towing group and the heavy-duty electrical group. So that'll come with, you know, the tow hitch or the receiver, a 4-pin and 7-pin connector for your trailer, as well as upgraded alternator or heavy-duty alternator and an upgraded battery. In addition, you get these really nice accessory switches for connecting lights or a winch, as opposed to having to do all that wiring yourself. You've got the switches built in and the heavy-duty battery to handle those additional accessories. Lastly, if you really want a convertible but want convenience and are lazy like me, and you just want to hit that button and have that convertible open up, look for that SkyTop One-Touch Power Top. It'll cost you a little more if you're looking for one that has a used one that has it on there, but yeah, once you got it, you probably won't regret it. So which model and options do you think I'm looking for? Well, I'm going to want to choose the Sport S. I basically want the base model that has some of the niceties. I also want to get the LED lighting group. I want to have the base safety group as a minimum. I want to have the Select Track for the all-wheel drive, and I also want the towing package. And I think that'll meet all of my needs. A special thanks goes to Chapman Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, and Ram for providing this beautiful 2022 Jeep Wrangler, and also for providing assistance in the creation of this video series. They are located in Las Vegas on Boulder Highway and have a great selection of both used and new Jeep Wranglers. And let them know I sent you. So that's it. I hope this video will provide you some useful information in your search for a Jeep Wrangler. And if it did help, yeah, why don't you like the video? I'm going to be creating a lot of upcoming content about the Jeep Wrangler. One of the videos is going to be basically a test drive of all the different engine options in the Jeep Wrangler and my impressions. And I'm going to be talking to a service advisor for Jeep. And they're going to be talking about some of the common problems on both the JK and JL Wranglers, what the symptoms of those problems are, and how much it costs to fix. So yeah, if that's of interest to you, why don't you also consider subscribing to my channel? And I hope to see you in the next one again very soon.